Hello, you beautiful awakening souls. I am here for a divine feminine reading today. My favorite reading of the whole week. I love doing my divine feminine readings. They are the ones that I resonate with the most. And I hope that you do too, because you guys are my focus. We love our divine masculines, right? There's no doubt about that. But I am here for you guys. That's my commitment, is to help all of you beautiful souls that are going through an awakening and who are at times feeling lost and lonely and misunderstood, because the awakening process can be a difficult one, no doubt. I've got my stuff on my table just a little differently today, only because of the fact that we are doing the Celtic cross spread today, because that's the one that I have reserved for you guys. It's a special spiritual spread, and I think it's the only one that is deserving and fitting for divine feminine. So let's find out what's going on with you right now, divine feminine, and see if we can offer a little bit of insight into your current situation. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, interesting. For current situation, divine feminine, it looks like you are facing some difficulties in your life. You have the Lovers in reverse. So in your life situation right now, divine feminine, you are facing breakup, separation, difficulties in your romantic relationships, whether that's with your twin or with a marital partner or a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It seems like there is definitely a fractured relationship that you're having to pick the pieces up from and to put into perspective and to grow and to learn from. So that can be very difficult, divine feminine, to navigate your way through. So patience and trust and really going within in order to make it something that you can learn and grow from, that will benefit you in your future experiences in life. Relationships are interesting. They're tricky for us. And the reason why is they really show us who we are. We see ourselves in the reflections of those that are closest to us. And whoever this person is, they've definitely woken you up to certain things that need to be looked at by you in order for you to self-actualize and become the best version of yourself. So even though it's been extraordinarily difficult, divine feminine, it's definitely something that needed to happen. And it needed to happen the way that it did, even if that was extraordinarily challenging and heartbreaking for you and for whoever this person is. What are the challenges, divine feminine, that you have been facing recently? All right, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. It looks like distraction, all up in your head, feeling like you've got some obsessive thinking, ruminating thoughts, not all of them very pleasant. A lot of fears are surfacing and rising, and it's creating a lot of mental activity, which is distracting you from your everyday life. If you're a mom, you're probably feeling like doing your regular duties as a mother are very, very difficult. If you're somebody who's working, male or female, work is probably really difficult for you to focus on right now. Family life for you may be something that's hard to to deal with right now, and it's coming from whatever this situation is. Now, this could be your twin flame that's creating a lot of this, because you're in a lot of dark night of the soul energy. But this card, again, can have dual representation. If you are in a current relationship right now, married, or again, like just in a regular relationship, even if you're not married, there could be a breakdown of that relationship happening simultaneously as you're dealing with your twin flame, and any separation that may be going on with that situation. So they might be happening at the exact same time. Maybe you've already had separation with your twin flame and they're kind of in and out, but you still have a relationship that you're dealing with and trying to navigate your way through and maybe exit out of. Or trying to decide if it's the right relationship with you, if you should stay because maybe you have children with this person and there's this pull to stay together and to see if you can make it work, even though, you have been unhappy. So there's a lot going on, and it's just requiring a lot. It's draining on you, Divine Feminine, because of the fact that you're just constantly thinking about it, thinking about your twin, thinking about the life that you're in, thinking about what's going on, what they're doing, whatever your partner is doing. There's just a lot of unanswered questions that your mind is just sifting through everything it knows how to do in order to try to find those answers. But my advice to you, what I've learned, is that if the question is there, if the questions are there, then the answer is coming to you. And you just need to relax and just allow that. It'll happen in its divine timing. Those answers will come to you. You're not being ignored by the universe, and God is completely aware of what you need. And so just pay attention to the synchronicities, pay attention to your intuition. That is how these answers will come to you. So what is it that you need to focus on, Divine Feminine, right now? What should Divine Feminine focus on? All right. Three of Swords, recovery, healing, just allowing things to be what they are. Stop trying so hard to show up for everyone, and instead take some time to show up for yourself. My son said something to me about that recently, on 2 different occasions. He said, "Mom, you're so busy running around trying to solve everybody else's problems that you never give yourself time to solve your own." And I was like, wow, you are so absolutely correct. And I would venture to say that probably so many of you out there suffer from the same condition. And it's not a bad thing, right? Wanting to love and help other people because you're empathetic that's a gift, but it's also something that's a power that you also have to learn to wield wisely, because if you're drowning, how are you going to save the ones that are drowning around you? You have to take time to take care of yourself and make sure that you're healthy in order to be able to show up for all those other people the way that you want to. So Divine Feminine, take time for yourself. Allow yourself to heal and recover, however long that takes. It could be months. It could be months that you need to just allow yourself the space and the time to retreat. Don't have to go out all the time. Don't have to solve other people's problems. Just focus on you for a while, Divine Feminine. And it's really going to pay off for you if you do. Stay present. Be present in the moment. Slow down. Slow down. It's okay to give yourself permission to just slow down sometimes. All right. Your past. What is it that you're leaving behind, Divine Feminine? All right, 6 of Cups. There's an innocence that you're leaving behind, but that's okay, because sometimes the innocence, we always think of innocence as a good word, right? But everything has a duality. And so innocence can also sometimes be harmful because we don't know what it is that we're doing that's not really serving us well. And there is an innocence that you have had that feels like it's being taken from you. However, what it's being replaced with is wisdom, and wisdom is also really, really good. And so sometimes we let go of innocence in order to replace that with the wisdom that we need in order to be able to make decisions and to create our life to be what we want it to be. And so innocence can also be like an ignorance when we don't have all of the facts, we don't see the big picture. It can create almost a narrow-mindedness. And so innocence is, in the context of how this card is showing up, is something that you're leaving behind in favor of wisdom. And the wisdom is the clarity that you need in order to be able to navigate your way through this. The innocence is what's created a lot of this. And it's not bad, it's good, right? It's innocent in nature. But you're starting to wake up and you're starting to realize like that there's more, and that's creating, through that resistance and the conflict that that created, is giving you a wisdom that you need in order to level up and go to the next level in your life and in your relationships. So this is a good thing. This is a good thing for you, Divine Feminine. What are your strengths right now? What are Divine Feminine's strengths? All right, the Chariot in reverse. When hard times hit you, you have an ability to be able to get up and keep going. Those are your strengths. I actually see this same kind of theme come up quite a bit for you, Divine Feminine. The dark night of the soul is no freaking joke, right? It is like the ultimate initiation into your awakening, which is the death of the ego, and it's extraordinarily painful. And it is not for the faint of heart. And you, Divine Feminine, are here right now because you're ready for it. You're absolutely ready for it. It wouldn't be happening to you if you couldn't handle it and work your way through it. And it's because you have acquired those strengths that allow you the ability to get through it, which is that you don't give up. You continue to keep going. When life knocks you down, you get up wiser, stronger, and better than you were before, and ready to continue to keep going. So trust in your strengths, Divine Feminine, because they're only going to catapult you to discover even more strengths and more gifts and more wisdom that you haven't even experienced yet, that you didn't even know existed within you. So that is something that I think not everybody in this world possesses, and that's something that really just makes you special. Your near future, Divine Feminine, what is going to potentially show up in your near future? You could experience a lot of, with the destruction of the ego, a lot of frustrations, a lot of shadows might show up for you to look at. Don't be afraid of these things. Don't bypass them through spiritual, knowledge and a spiritual ego. Sometimes as we start to go through this, we can develop a spiritual ego. It's a sneaky way that the ego tries to remain a part of our it tries to remain in control that way by going, okay, well, you got this new spirituality, let's create more ego with it. Don't do that. If you can recognize that and not fall into that trap, wonderful. If you fall into the trap and then recognize that you're there, get out of it. And remember who you are. No one's better than anyone else. We're all at different places, and whether we consider ourselves to be awake or asleep, we are all divine souls, and we are all valuable together. We're all part of this together. That's the law of one. And so do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do no harm. So just keep things in perspective, Divine Feminine. And then as shadows creep up, things that you start to recognize about, that are being revealed to you through the destruction of the ego, just notice them. Remember that they are not you, And that it's your awareness, shining the light of your awareness on them, that causes those shadows to dissolve and dissipate. And you can't really mess this up, okay? In time, you'll see these shadows more and more clearly. And even if they repeat themselves a few times in order to really give you time to look at them, don't worry about it. That's not a mistake. That's happening on purpose. Things only show up as long as they need to. As Eckhart Tolle says, suffering is only necessary until it's no longer necessary. Our shadows are only there until we've learned what we need to learn from them. And so even if we repeat mistakes a few times, that's okay. It's meant to happen that way. It's teaching you something, and it's giving you wisdom. That's exactly what it's all about. So advice for divine feminine. Advice for divine feminine. All right. 9 of Cups. This journey is taking you to that divine place of wisdom where you recognize that you are the creator of your life. And when you recognize that you are the creator of your life, what are you going to do with it? Well, I can create what I want. I have this wisdom now. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to create with it? And what am I going to stop creating that I don't actually want? And now that I recognize and I've lost that innocence, and I know now through wisdom what it is that I've been doing that's been keeping me from what I truly want. What am I going to let go? And what am I going to attract in now that I have this wisdom? So stay on your spiritual path, divine feminine. It is teaching you some invaluable tools that are your birthright. They're yours. They're just waiting for you to recognize them. So seek, learn, grow, allow, stay present. That's the key, staying present. And then allowing yourself to be led by that inner intuitive voice that is connected to all things, that is connected to source. Environment, divine feminine. What is going on in your environment? You are being called upon for leadership. As you continue to grow and find yourself, the brighter your light is going to shine. And the brighter that your light shines, some will be attracted to you like moths to a flame. And others might feel repelled by you because they recognize in your light the light that they lack and have not allowed themselves to acknowledge, because it's theirs too. They just have to acknowledge it. They have to go through this process that is extraordinarily difficult to go through in order to achieve that. And not everybody chooses to do it. And so sometimes that can be, your light can be frightening to people like that. And it may come across in the 3D world as them not liking you or them putting you down. But that's just a reflection of their own insecurity. You stand bright in that light that you are, and those that are meant to do that with you will show up, and they will find you because of that. So shine brightly, divine feminine. Okay, recognize that you deserve it. Don't cut yourself off from your own light. That's what others do, but that's not what this journey is teaching you. It's teaching you to embrace the light that you are and to trust the light that you are. Hopes and fears, divine feminine. What are your hopes and fears? Cruelty, deliberate cruelty, abusiveness, either by others or accidentally by yourself. Maybe you've made certain mistakes in your past that you regret when you had confusion and old energy. And you're afraid of those things resurfacing, old patterns resurfacing, or not being able to overcome certain patterns. Those are the fears that you carry. You're also afraid that others could, hurt you, abandon you, be unkind to you, judge you. Those are things that have been very difficult for you to navigate your way through. And it comes from a lack of self-worth and not knowing your value. But as you continue to grow through this path, Divine Feminine, you're not going to be so worried about that, okay? The longer that you stand in the light and the truth of who you really are and embrace that and love that, and also love that in others, even when they can't see their own light. When you can see around your own ego, you can see around the ego of the others as well. And you can see the light in them that maybe they haven't even acknowledged yet. And it gives you this ability to be able to see things from an elevated perspective. So don't let these fears continue to hold you down. Sometimes, like, when the crab is trying to escape from the cage, a lot of the other crabs will try to pull them back down because misery loves company, right? They all want to escape. They see one getting out. They're like, oh, no, no, I want to get out too, and they pull you back down. Well, Divine Feminine, trust yourself, okay? Because you are escaping all of those illusions of boundaries and the illusions of limitations that hold everyone back. And you're recognizing that you're limitless, and it's because of the divine wisdom and knowledge that is being given to you. It's being dripped to you as the ego dies. It's being replaced with this new wisdom. It is not going to leave. You can't unknow what you know. So these old fears are just that. They're old fears. Old fears. They might creep up for quite a while, and sometimes they can kind of knock you around a little bit. But each time that happens, remember, it's giving you more and more wisdom. You're letting more and more of it go. Potential outcome, Divine Feminine. Potential outcome. What is your potential outcome? Let's see here. All right. All right. 5 of Swords in reverse. The battle is over. You're recognizing and letting go of duality and embracing the oneness of all things. You're stepping out of separation consciousness and recognizing unity consciousness, which is a result of inner union within yourself. And Divine Feminine, this is an incredible accomplishment for you. But remember, your accomplishments, that they're coming because of that strength to continue and the will to keep going forward and the faith that you have. But it's also a gift to you from something larger, from something above. So no reasons to boast, and you recognize that. You're like, okay, I am one with all things. I am equal and part of all things. And what I see in all things outside of me are things that are existing within me. And I now have that wisdom to navigate my way through it to create the life that I want. I can create heaven or I can create hell. Where am I putting my attention? Where am I giving my energy? And now you can create the life that you want because you've collapsed that inner duality and created union between the masculine and feminine energies within you. So you are balanced and in harmony. And that is your potential outcome. So just keep going, Divine Feminine. Just keep going. It's going to pay off for you. You don't even really have to try. It's being revealed. Just keep going. Like in Dory, right? Like Dory in that cartoon. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. You will be guided to your destination. Just trust and have faith. Let go of the fear and the resistance. It just tries to slow you down. And so, yeah, let's get you an oracle card here. All right. So I love this tarot deck that I have. I don't know if you guys love it as much as I do, but I think these cards are just so beautiful. These woodland creatures. This tarot deck is called the Guardian of the Night Tarot. And I love it, right? It kind of reminds me like a Guardians of the Dark Night of the Soul. The guidance that you get when you're going through this dark night of the soul. I had a raven show up for me, which was an incredible experience during my dark night of the soul. And I have definitely felt like animals have played a very large part in my awakening process. And I have realized that, God uses them, they're connected to us. We are connected to all things, and these beautiful creatures around us they have a lot of like symbolism, right? So if you're noticing certain animals or creatures showing up, pay attention to the synchronicities of that. Look up the meaning of them and find out what it's trying to show you. The universe is speaking to us all the time in all things. Everything is spiritual. When you recognize that you're the spirit having the experience, of course everything is spiritual, and of course everything has meaning. Nothing is there to be written off or ignored. And then I think that my woodland creatures deck, it's my oracle deck. My oracle deck is called Woodland Wardens. Pairs really well with this. So, all right, our card today is, all right. So the badger and the ginkgo, and this is got a special meaning, which is healing wounds. Ginkgo is a sacred and ancient tree. Fossil records show the tree first arose in the Jurassic period millions of years ago. Native to Asia, the ginkgo is a symbol of peace and hope in China and can be seen in temples and gardens in Japan. The badger, in contrast, is known to be hot-headed and aggressive. Due to its speed and tendency to roam at night, the badger is often cast as a sinister shapeshifter in European and Asian folklore. Tempered by ginkgo, the badger invites us to reflect on harm we may have caused and seek to heal old wounds. In the upright, your actions have hurt someone. Apologize and take steps to right your wrong. Setting the stage for healing, consider whether your own wounds have led you to inflict pain upon others. So this card, I think, is pretty cool for this reading today, because we talked a lot about the journey that you're on and the wounds that you're healing. And we talked about not ignoring them, not bypassing them, and really taking the opportunity to look at them when they show up and recognize that they're only showing up for a reason. Now, that doesn't mean we're bound by them. We've let go of the belief that we're bound by them. Now we know that we are the light, and we're just looking at them so that we can let them go. And your hopes and fears card came up with, a fear of old patterns being hurt or potentially harming others, because of these old wounds, these old fears. And so I think it's interesting that this card came up to kind of talk a little further about that. If you've got some regrets in your life that have maybe manifested as a result of some old behaviors that were probably taught to you as a young child and then needed to be acted out, remember that we all show up for each other as different characters in each other's play of life. And sometimes we show up as the saint, sometimes we show up as the sinner, sometimes we're the mother, the friend, the father, the child, the student, the teacher, the villain. We can be many different things to each other, but we all do this in service to each other to show up as characters to teach each other the lessons that we need to learn. And if you showed up in a certain way where you think you harmed someone, it was to teach them a lesson as well as to teach you a lesson. So it's always a symbiotic relationship. So no need to feel guilt or shame. But you can make you can make things right. If it's a person that you can make things right with, that you can talk to, wonderful. If it's someone that you can't, or someone that you shouldn't, it's okay to allow yourself to forgive yourself and to move on and resolve that in your own mind. You don't need to continue to punish yourself. I promise you, whatever lesson was learned on their side was a lesson that they needed to learn as well. When I understood this philosophy, it helped me to forgive myself, and it also helped me to forgive others who had created adversity in my life, because I realized that they were also souls that were showing up to teach me something valuable. Because, successes and failures are both just as important to teach us the lessons that we need to learn in life. One isn't more valuable than the other. One we like more than the other, but it doesn't mean that one is more valuable than the other. They're both valuable. The contrast and the duality is what teaches us, but you are rising above that duality and transcending that duality, still able to learn from it, but recognizing that there is value in both is collapsing the duality and allowing yourself to learn and to grow and to forgive and to let go of what you need to. I love you, Divine Feminine. I really, really do. I hope that this reading resonated with you. Thank you again so much for being here. If you guys would like to like and subscribe this video, it's very helpful to us. We very much appreciate it. And if you're interested in one-on-ones with myself or Cam, that information is in the description box below. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys tomorrow with your shadow reading. Bye.